Jello Beats, holla at me.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and another video. I'd first like to say a huge thank you for the massive amount of support that we got yesterday on the Natty Scene, which is just a new project slash venture for me. And it's going to be a podcast, obviously it's going to be in video format, so you can expect on this channel to see an episode of that come weekly, which I'm really looking forward to putting out, because as much as I enjoy the longer podcasts, I must admit they're harder to organise because it's an hour of someone else's time, it's an hour of my time, and also the guests have to be of a calibre where I think I'm providing value to my audience. And sometimes it's a bit difficult to balance that between I want to get someone on to talk purely about anecdotal stuff versus someone that's going to talk an hour about really educational content. So I hope that just providing a platform for athletes from whatever background, whatever level of knowledge, can just come on and just talk about what they're doing and why they're doing it. And yeah, I'm pumped to bring more of them, and expect at least one per week. At least. I can probably pump out maybe even two, because they're only going to be short. So that's wicked. And the topic of today's video is going to be why I don't plan, or I tend not to plan deloads. Now, a lot of the time, people will talk about planning a lot, and I see it very, very frequently online, that the idea of you must plan, or like the old saying is like plan to if you don't plan you'll fail type thing. Well, I completely messed up that saying, but you know what I mean. And it frustrates me in the way that a lot of people will sometimes miss out on potential progress from simply having such a rigid plan in place. And I think the more that you can plan, obviously, the better you may well set out things over the long term. I think long-term planning definitely has some advantages. However, I think, for most people, we can realistically benefit from learning the exact point at which we need to do certain things. Doing things when we need to do them, as opposed to doing things just to fit the plan or fit the mold, right? So, you can take other analogies in sports, like if a rower felt really, really good on one day, and he had the potential to tap into a record or to tap into a PB, he'd probably take it. And it's the same with a runner, If you go out for one of your runs and you're planned to do a 5k in this certain time period, but you end up feeling really good and you want to take a PB, take a PB. But sometimes you do have to look at the bigger plan. So it's about a balance, and I think the more experienced you get, the better you can get at almost auto-regulating things in a way that allows you to pick the right time to do certain things. Whether it's do a refeed or do a deload or whatever, you just get better at learning when the right time is to do these things. The reason why I don't plan deloads for myself or clients too frequently, I do it now and again, but for the most part I don't always, is because I like clients to think. I like them to always be aware as to what they're doing and how they're feeling. Because planning a deload in week 5 of a mesocycle is great, because it allows someone to sort of see the long-term, look at the overall periodization in a training program or a block or a mesocycle. It allows them to see that. But what sometimes it doesn't allow them to see or contextualize is feelings of fatigue, feelings of overreaching, and also feelings of momentum. because they're so clued up on the idea that the fourth week is going to be the hardest that they almost just mentally they have to deload because it's in their program, like it's there and it's stuck and there's no changing it. However, if you do potentially the way that I do things is take fatigue markers, look at overall progress and see if we actually can eke out a few more weeks of successful training without having to back off, would that be advantageous? And most of the time I've seen it, like anecdotally with myself and clients, is that those 1 to 2 weeks that you might not have thought you would have had, but you took them because momentum was so good, your nutrition was perfect, sleep was perfect, you didn't need to deload. So you carried on the momentum, you went 2 weeks deeper, and you got 2 weeks more progress. Whereas you could have just taken the deload in week 5 as it was structured, essentially ruined the bit of momentum that you had, because if anything, what I've seen from deloads or reloads is that momentum does get hampered a little bit. You come back to movements that are like your peak levels, like peak levels of squats, deadlifts, etc., these neurologically taxing moves, you come back to them and you almost instinctively feel a bit weaker. Even though later into the week you'll probably feel stronger because you've dissipated fatigue, you kind of feel a bit weaker. So I think it does provide a lot of benefit just to really focus on deloading when you need to. In terms of signs of needing to deload, I've discussed these in my deload video, which I will link in the description box. But the main thing that I wanted to get across today, guys, is that if you have momentum in your training, please take it. Like, grasp that, hold on to it, and keep progressing to the point where you're teetering on that edge. You shouldn't be fully fucked up by the time you deload. I'm not saying that. But you should just be teetering on that edge of really kind of needing it, and then you take it. Take the deload, back off. As opposed to thinking, oh, I feel a bit tired, let's deload. Or, oh, fuck, I'm ruined, or I'm injured, I'm hurt, I'm done, I'm out, let's deload. Maximize your progress, and then take deloads when you need to. Also, make notes, like take notes, like feedback yourself, reverse engineer things, and think through, like, do I really need this deload? Or can I keep going? Have I got a good momentum here? Like I said, the more advanced you get, the better you'll get at this. Honestly, like, the more I advance as a trainee, the more I can know when my body needs to back off. So if you're a young trainee, like, it will take you a good year of training before you really realise, like, okay, like, this is how I'm meant to feel when I feel fucked up enough for a deload. But I think that, again, like, it's something that you should take into concept, is that the idea of auto-regulated deloads might be something that you want to input into your training. So yeah, guys, this has been it for today. It's a Saturday. I've got an upper body session and some posing to do and finishing off client check-ins. Had a good refeed yesterday, so feeling a bit rejuvenated, but not that rejuvenated, to be honest. At this stage, they don't really make much difference. And I'll do my contest prep update video tomorrow, and we'll check in then. Cheers, guys. See you later.